For over 30 years, a strange and growing bulge had formed along the side of a large oak tree. It stood just beyond a rusted fence, near a peaceful little garden behind an old countryside church. This tree wasn't just any tree, it had a presence. Passersby often slowed down to stare at the unusual shape that seemed to swell more and more each year, like something was trapped inside. The land belonged to the local church, and Father Gabriel, the soft-spoken priest who had served there for decades, kept a close eye on the mysterious tree. In fact, he had spent 30 years quietly protecting it. People sometimes asked him about it, but he always gave the same answer: leave it be. Some things are better left untouched. But things took a turn when the tree's massive bulge began leaning dangerously during heavy windstorms. Nearby buildings were at risk, and the church council finally demanded that something be done. Father Gabriel hesitated but agreed it was time to find out what lay inside. Tree specialists were called in, and early the next morning, they arrived with saws and safety gear. The operation began, cutting into a tree that large and old. For nearly an hour, all they found was layer after layer of dense, ancient wood. But then a loud metallic clang. Confused, the workers paused. They checked their tools, then cut more carefully. The sound had come from inside the tree. As they carved deeper into the heart of the bulge, they saw a glimpse of something shiny. Piece by piece, bark and wood were removed until they uncovered the impossible: a large bronze object lodged deep within the trunk. As the full shape became visible, gasps erupted from everyone around. It was a church bell. And not just any bell. Father Gabriel's eyes widened in shock. He stepped closer, brushed away dirt and moss, and whispered. He immediately ordered someone to call the police. Once cleaned, the bell's markings were clear. It was the long-lost 1,893 church bell, believed to have been destroyed when lightning struck the church's original bell tower more than a century ago. The impact had supposedly shattered the structure and caused the bell to vanish. People had searched for it for years, assuming it had been stolen or buried somewhere. But now, here it was perfectly preserved inside the tree. How it ended up inside the trunk remained a mystery. Experts were baffled. Trees don't grow around objects of that size without signs. No roots were broken. It was as if the tree had gently wrapped itself around the bell over time, like it had been protecting it all these years. Word spread fast. Locals came to see it for themselves. News crews arrived. Even antique collectors made offers, some going as high as $200,000, hoping to own the historic treasure. But Father Gabriel refused every offer. He believed it was no accident that the tree had been guided by something greater. He called it a miracle, a sign that the church was being watched over and protected. The bell was carefully removed, cleaned, and placed back on church grounds, not in a tower, but in a special glass case under the very tree that had kept it safe for over 100 years. And as for the oak tree, it still stands tall, its bulge now gone, but its mystery lives on.